Hi everyone, it's Darlene and welcome to this week's card. I used a new technique today. It's kind of a snowy, shadowy technique, and I saw it used by a woman named Heather Telford, and I'm going to have a link to her blog on my blog. But the first thing you do is you stamp your image in Versamark, and notice I'm going to put my Stamp-O-Majig right there to mark my spot. And then I'm going to ink up my stamp again with a color. I'm going to move my Stamp-O-Majig so slightly, like really just not even a millimeter, to the lower right hand corner. And then I'm going to stamp it again, and that chipped sapphire is what I used. Okay, then I'm going to take some clear embossing powder and emboss the whole thing. And then I'm going to apply some ink. I'm going to start with Shaded Lilac. And I'm just going to color the top half, and you can see the Versamark is the white portion, and then of course the chipped sapphire is the blue portion. And it's resisting the ink that I'm applying. So I'm just applying Spice Marmalade at the bottom. I'm going to blend those two together in the middle. The next thing is I've got this new die cut by Poppy Stamps, and it's called the Grand Madison Arch Window, I think. I'll link to it on my blog. And then this stamp set by Hero Arts is this great sentiment stamp set. It's got so many different sentiments in there, and I'm also going to link to that. So I'm just going to stamp that with VersaFine ink, and I'm going to place it where I want over my image, and I'm going to trace the outside of it so I know where the border is, and then I'm going to cut probably about 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters inside the border. That way when I attach it, it'll attach to something. The window will actually attach to this image, but it's not going to show through. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to work on my background, which is this all-over pattern by Penny Black, and I'm going to use Versamark ink. And I usually stamp it upside down when it's such a big stamp like that, so I put the paper onto the stamp instead of vice versa. Then I'm going to sprinkle some clear embossing powder on that and heat it up to set it. I use my paper piercer to hold it down so my fingers don't get burned. Now I'm going to take Scattered Straw, and I'm just going to color the whole thing. And just measure and make sure I got that right. And I'm using some Dimensionals, which is foam adhesive by Stampin' Up. I'm going to peel off the backing and apply it to my image. And then I'm just going to take my ATG gun, and I'm going to adhere the window to the background, and then the background to a folded piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock. Oh, but first I decided to show you I wiped my craft sheet down, which the ink comes right off. I just spray it with some water, and I have a rag handy to the side, and I just wipe it up. It's a great craft sheet. It's the Tim Holtz Ranger, well, it's the Ranger, I think, craft sheet. Anyway, so here we go. Here we have it. It's your final card, and it was pretty quick and easy to make, and I think the technique is really cool. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.